I'm Alpha Trevette. Here's my 5-minute morning video, starting the clock for you right now, and saying hello to Nina in Chicago. Nina watches the video every day and comments from time to time, giving me the thumbs up. Nina, thank you so much. You know, you don't have to give me a thumbs up to comment if there's something you don't like my humor, you don't like my looks, you don't like my views of the world, well, fine. One thing to remember, though, I don't assassinate anyone's character, or I don't slander or insult. So I would expect you, if you respond, that you would do the same thing. Let's keep it cordial, can we? All right. Find out what's going on in the world. It's amazing what $1 trillion can do to stock markets. That's what the International Monetary Fund is pumping into the European Union right now, or the European Economic Community. Greece has been in a bit of trouble. In fact, several countries in Europe are in quite a bit of trouble. Greece probably the most troubled, but right behind it, Portugal, Spain, UK is not too far behind either. And so the International Monetary Fund, $1 trillion, in no small part due to the United States. We've kicked in over $100 million. In fact, Barack Obama did that as soon as he became president of the United States. So you guys, you taxpayers, you're helping Greece and the EEC, right, or the EC right now. How does that make you feel? You happy about that? Is that okay? I mean, it did spur the stock market. Whether it'll have the long-term effects, we don't know. One thing I hope does come out of this, that we learn some lessons, okay? Lesson number one we've got to learn from Europe is that we cannot continue to take from producers and give it to non-producers, because pretty soon these producers are going to go, you know, you're taking so much away from me, I can't produce anymore. And then they're going to be shifted over here to the non-producers. And then everybody's going to be non-producer. How can a country survive like that? Can you tell me? I mean, it's never worked before. Can't work here, not working there. Let's try to figure it out before we go any further, right? Looks like we got a new nominee for the Supreme Court. Her name is Elena Kagan. Never been on the bench before, but she's pretty well qualified, it would seem. She's has been the dean of law school at Harvard University. That's kind of prestigious. And she is currently the Solicitor General of the United States. Now, when she was nominated for Solicitor General, there were some Republicans who didn't really care for it, even though she's considered to be a moderate. They didn't like her because while she was a dean of the law school at Harvard, she insisted that the military recruiters be kicked off the campus. Why? Because she didn't agree with their don't ask, don't tell policy. That leads to speculation that she might be homosexual. Whether that's true or not, I do not know. I do know, as far as I know, nobody's asked, and she ain't telling. So we'll find out whether or not the moderates and conservatives, or the conservatives consider her moderate or conservative enough to sit on the Supreme Court. I know Barack Obama could have nominated some people who are much farther to the left than she. Something going on in the world, too, that we're not so in tune with. It's called football in the rest of the world. We call it soccer, and it's the World Cup, the championship of all the countries that get together and play in Johannesburg, South Africa, or at least that's where it is this time around. It's coming up in, I don't know, a few weeks, and I don't know how long it lasts, maybe a couple of weeks, maybe it's like a fortnight at Wimbledon, I don't know. But I do know this. The reason we don't like soccer so much is because there's no scoring. I mean, you can go a whole game without scoring. They call that being 0-0, and the game ends in a tie. Everybody walks away, and you get no result. You just watch guys run around and kick a ball for a couple of hours. Doesn't seem like fun to me. That's why we here in the United States, baseball is played in extra innings, football and basketball, you go to overtime, we get a winner, all right? There you don't. Maybe that's why we're not so crazy about it. But let me point this out to you. The city of Johannesburg is accepting 1 billion condoms for the arrival of the 400,000 people or so who are going to come, mostly men, by the way, who are coming to Johannesburg to watch the World Cup. 1 billion condoms, 400,000, mostly men, fans coming to Johannesburg. Now, to take care of these people, we assume there's going to be 40,000 sex workers. 40,000 sex workers, 1 billion condoms. I did a little math here to try to figure out, and let's assume that twice as many people, other than those sex workers, will be doing the hibbity-bibbity, you know, and I mean, some of those guys may be doing it with themselves. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with that. Let's assume, for the sake of argument, 80,000 people are going to be getting busy during that 2-week period. We assume it's 2 weeks. That's going to be 1 billion condoms, 80,000 people, 12,000 condoms apiece. And no pun intended there, by the way. Assuming there's no reuse, For the 2-week event, they're going to be serving up more than McDonald's. I mean, that's 893 customers per day, all right? Now, assuming that they want to make the most of their time, they'll work an 8-hour day, may or may not. That's 111 customers per hour, assuming each one uses a condom, and we assume they will. And that means they're turning over customers every 30 seconds. Well, no, every minute, about a minute or so. 1.85 customers per minute. We assume the 0.85 could be a dwarf or a little person or something like that. I don't know. But the point is, if there were as much scoring going on the pitch, that's the field, as off the pitch, maybe we'd be a little more excited about it. What do you think? Huh? I'm Alpha Trevette. That's my 5-minute morning video. See you next time.